New York's Fashion Week kicks off tonight with Fashion's Night Out. More than 700 retailers all over New York City will stay open until 11 p.m. to get consumers excited about retail and spending once again. Fashion's Night Out is the brainchild of Vogue magazine, and joining us now is its publisher, Florio of Condé Nast. Thank you so much for joining us. This is really an industry-wide effort to get consumers in the stores, but the question is, will they spend when they get there?
Well, I don't think anybody really knows the answer to that. I think the objective of Fashion's Night Out was not so much to get people in store to spend. It was to change what we felt was kind of this shift in the value system of the American consumer, which was all of a sudden it was a virtue not to shop, which is counterculture to everything American, you know. We're a nation that's about upward mobility and the American dream, and we seem to be in this emotional fetal position. So what Fashion's Night Out was about was creating a platform for people to go out, go into stores, meet editors, meet the designers, and remember it's fun to be out. So whether or not you buy a lipstick or maybe you buy a cashmere sweater, it's really to be out and have fun again and just remind people it's good to be out, because if you don't, then you're going to continue to put other people out of business. It's really not a virtue not to shop.
Well, it is interesting in this new normal that you're talking about. There is less consumption, but where people are going out to consume what it is that they are buying is also different. I mean, have you seen a shift in terms of who's interested in having their ads in Vogue?
No, not at all. What we see is the same client base in Vogue. We just see less of the business in Vogue. So where an advertiser might have run literally 60 pages in a year, that advertiser maybe this year would run 20 pages in a year. And I don't think the Vogue readers, as a matter of fact, I know the Vogue readers not less interested in any of it. I mean, the reader of Vogue comes to Vogue because they aspire to be the best they could be, and the magazine gives them kind of permission to dream about that lifestyle. Really the question is to what level will the consumption take place? But I think that kind of powerful independent women that are doing well still want to present themselves to the world a certain way. There's probably less overt consumption, but they still want to live and move and wear makeup and wear beautiful earrings and all those things.
Luxury is not dead from the view of Vogue, but it's interesting because it puts, as a magazine, I would think you in an interesting position of, do you reflect the trend that's playing out on Main Street, or do you continue to look towards the runway and be a trendsetter, a taste maker?
Yeah, neither, actually. You know, Vogue's a 120-year-old brand, and it leads the culture. You know, our point of view is it's fashion as an expression of culture. Just like we're kind of leading women out of this. If you go back during the civil rights movement, we were doing interviews with, you know, Chisholm, you know. We're really more about putting a woman at the center of the culture, and then having her aspire to be the best she could be, and then do it with an optimistic sensibility. And as a result, ironically, we talk about the consumer's interest in these things. The audience of Vogue is larger today than it was in 2007.
And it's younger. I was looking at some of the information you sent over.
Exactly, and it's younger. All of a sudden, we have this influx of millennials, which is, you know, for those that aren't in the marketing world, kind of 18 to 34-year-olds. And I think what they're responding to is, you know, these are women particularly who empowerment and female power, as they define it, is quite different than their mom. That this idea of diversity and inclusion is very much a part of their lives. They're finding this in Vogue, and particularly I think at a time where so much information is available without any authenticity or context. I think they know if it's coming from the editors of Vogue, there's a standard and a level of context to it.
We've talked a great deal to newspaper editors, to newspaper publishers within the broader publishing industry about, it's very well known, advertising spending is down, ad spending on pages is down, but you're raising prices on ad rates.
Yeah.
That seems counterintuitive.
Well, not necessarily. We think there's a value proposition to delivering 1 in 10 American women that are in the right mindset. And I think that one of the kind of errors that one could make, and there's been a lot written about it, is if you change your value proposition, you can't recover from it. There's a cost to putting out information at a certain level. You know, there's a cost to good news. There's a cost to it. And if you're going to continue to pull together the best writers in the world, and you're going to continue to fund people like, you know, the Grace Coddingtons of the world, and then you will attract a unique audience that's doing something that the audiences of other magazines aren't doing. They're consuming. Our readers still spend $9 billion on apparel. Wow. So we think the value proposition is fair.
And it's $120,000 right now to buy an ad.
A little bit more.
A little bit more.
Rate, yeah.
What are you raising it to?
I'll be up around 150 next year.
150. I want to ask you real quick before we go. We've seen Anna Wintour out and about in a way we've never seen her before, the editor of Vogue magazine on Letterman. We had R.J. Cutler on this program talking about the September issue. What is that? Is that a marketing agreement on your part, or is that making Vogue more accessible in a certain way?
I don't necessarily know if it's either one. You have to remember, a lot of these decisions were made many years ago, you know, to do the film about Vogue. You know, I don't want to speak for Anna, but I'll just say this. An awful lot of people like to tell the story or parody the story of what Vogue is, and I think we're now seeing it from the person who sets the stage.
Thank you so much. Tom Florio, publisher of Vogue magazine.